Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. This verse is a continuation of the teachings of Lord Kapila to his mother Devavati. We have been seeing many verses describing the glories of devotional service. In fact, the chapter's name is The Glories of Devotional Service. In this verse specifically, it is spoken about the last sentence in the translation. We can see Prabhupada says, he is able to control the mind. Chittasya yatto grahane, or chittasya grahane, ability to control the mind. In fact, this is one of the most frequently asked questions, especially when we go towards youngsters. How to control my mind? I'm finding it difficult to control my mind. What can I do to control my mind? So of course many things we say. Chant Hare Krishna and many other things. So practically we can see in this verse today the recommendation from the Srimad Bhagavatam how to control the mind. In fact, we should understand the position, the activities of the mind. Many a times this mind, we see how it is compared to a monkey. A monkey means we can understand, very notorious, jumping from one tree to another, doing all kinds of disturbances, not sitting peacefully, creating a lot of nuisance. Just think, one monkey from somewhere enters this hall, immediately everyone will become alert somehow to chase it away. Because if we allow it inside, what will it do? Will it do some constructive activity? No. It will break some things, spoil certain things and create nuisance here. So immediately we want to chase it away, take care of it. Likewise, we should understand this is how our mind works. It's just like a monkey. Now it is focused towards one kind of a thought. Next moment, some other thought. The next, yet another. It's like monkey jumping from one branch of a tree to another tree, and plucking, pulling, breaking and doing all these things. Likewise, mind focused towards lust, greed, anger, envy, jealousy, all of these things creates all kinds of disturbances for a person. So we should understand there is a great necessity to control the mind. In fact, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bandhuratma atmanastasya yenatmaivatmano jitaha anatmanastu shatrutve varteta atmaiva shatruvat. If you are able to control your mind, it is your best friend. The same mind, if it goes uncontrolled, it will be your worst enemy. So here we see how to do this. Chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukto. When one is actually situated on that path of devotional service, he is able to control the mind. Let us see a few important points mentioned in this verse. Bhaktya puman jata viraga aindriyat. Bhaktya, by devotional service. So actually, if we refer the previous verse, yet another important verse, which says, Satam prasangan mama virya samvido. In the association of Satam, devotees of the Lord, mama virya samvidaha, who hears, chants my activities, my glories, my qualities, bhavanti. What happens? Hrit karna rasayana kataha. It is very pleasing. Hrit karna, for the heart and the ears. Is it just pleasing? Tad joshanat ashu apavarga vartmani. By practice of this, by cultivation of this process, what will happen? Ashu, very quickly, apavarga vartmani. He traverses on the path towards liberation. And how it happens step by step? Shraddha, Ratir, Bhaktir, Anukramishyati. Shraddha, he develops staunch faith. Ratir, he develops attraction towards the Supreme Lord. And Bhakti, he engages in devotional service to the Lord. So here in this verse we see Bhaktya puman jata viraga aindriyat. Such bhakti or devotional service, it will give rise to jata viraga aindriyat. Aindriyat means, or indriya, senses. Attraction for the senses towards sense objects. Attraction for sense gratification. By devotional service, what will happen? Jata viraga. There will be distaste towards sense gratification. In today, like as of today, what is our condition? Our position in this conditioned state, we have a lot of attraction towards sense objects. We want to see something good, we want to taste something good, we want to hear, smell, touch, which we think gives us happiness. But this happiness is not real happiness. It is temporary, it is false. Any kind of happiness related to sense gratification in this material world is always a source of distress in the future. So, what will happen by devotional service? A person develops distaste for sense gratification. So this we have heard in many places in the Bhagavatam, many examples, we have heard how people have developed distaste for sense gratification by performance of devotional service, specifically as mentioned in this verse and the previous verse, by hearing the Lord's pastimes. By hearing about the Lord's qualities, by hearing the Lord's name, His fame, how a person develops distaste for sense gratification. One example we can recollect from the Chaitanya Charitamrita is of the prostitute who came to pollute Haridas Thakur. So that lady, she was one among many who were residing in Benapola, where Ramachandra Khan was there. This Ramachandra Khan, he was very much against Haridas Thakur's becoming famous. So he went to the place and there were many prostitutes, women there. So he expressed his plan and one of them was very beautiful. She took up this task. Yes, I can do it. Just give me 3 days. I can allure Haridas Thakur and whatever, defame him by associating with him. So it was agreed upon. See, she was in association with Ramachandra Khan with the intention of defaming, polluting a devotee. He had allured her through his money, riches, to get a lot of money. So she took up this task and came towards Haridas Thakur in the dead of the night. There what happened? Haridas Thakur in a solitary place, young man, he's sitting and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He's fully engrossed in chanting and hearing the holy name. And this prostitute, she goes there and she expresses her desire to associate with him. Haridas Thakur says, no, I have a vow of chanting some minimum rounds. Let me complete my rounds. After I finish my rounds, then I'll satisfy your desire. Okay, she agrees and she sits there. So Haridas Thakur is continuing to chant and she is sitting there and she is also continuously hearing Lord's holy name through the mouth of Haridas Thakur. And she is hearing, time passes and it becomes morning. Sunlight is visible, so she goes back. Again she comes the second day night she comes. So again she is finding Haridas Thakur chanting, so she also comes there. So again he says, no, my chanting is not yet over. You can please be seated here. After I finish my rounds, then I'll satisfy your desire. So again Haridas Thakur continues to chant loudly Hare Krishna mantra. And this prostitute, she is also sitting there waiting when he will finish. And over a period of time, she is also continuously hearing. And she also starts chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. She is imitating and she is also started to chant. Again, morning time, it happened, sunlight. Again she goes back. The third night, again she comes. The third night, again the same thing. Haridas Thakur is chanting, he tells, no, I had made a vow that in 1 month I will chant 1 crore Lord's holy names. 1 crore means 10 millions. Every day, if a person chants 3,33,333 names into 30, it becomes 1 crore in a month. So I had made this vow. Today I'll be finishing that. You can sit here. After I finish my vow, then I'll be able to satisfy you. So she sits there and again the chanting whole night it continues. By the time it is morning, this prostitute, she is also chanting and hearing and continuously chanting in the association of Haridas Thakur. Her mind gets transformed. By the time it is morning, she falls at the feet of Haridas Thakur, begs for forgiveness, and she expresses that like this is the plan of that Ramachandra Khan who wanted to pollute you, but what kind of sinful activity I was about to perform, please forgive me. So Haridas Thakur says, yes, I knew about this plan of him, So no issues, I will leave in this place now. You sit here, daily chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and you will be able to go back to Godhead. So she takes the instruction of Haridas Thakur, and she also, and the prostitute, it said how she went back, gave up all her money, riches, whatever she had, earned through all sinful ways. She gave to all brahmanas and needy people, and she came back with just some simple clothes, shaved her head, sat there, and daily pouring water to the tulsi plant, she sat and chanted the holy names of the Lord. In fact, it is said how she was transformed into such a great devotee that even other great devotees used to come and visit her. Such a transformation had taken place in her. Completely she had lost all taste for money or wealth or bodily satisfaction, everything. This was the transformation we could see in her. Likewise, we have heard the story of the thief whom some cops were chasing. He ran and came, and somehow he came and sat in a place where the lecture on Bhagavatam was going on. And that person, he was describing nicely about Lord Krishna's form, how he'll be in Vrindavana, and this thief who was coming there with the intention of stealing jewels, all those things, he was able to hear how Krishna, wearing lot of jewelry, like he'll be seen in Vrindavan. So he thought, let me go and steal him. All my whatever, this thing will be gone, poverty will be gone. So carefully he listens about Krishna, continuously thinking about, oh, how Krishna looks, where will he be, what are his activities. He hears, continuously contemplating on these. He travels, goes, starts his journey towards Vrindavan, and continuously thinking about Krishna. He goes there. See, his intention was to steal all the nice jewelry, golden ornaments from Krishna. But still, after going there, exactly the same description how it was described, he finds Lord Krishna there in Vrindavan, standing on the banks of the Yamuna, wearing yellow dress, holding a flute. And he goes there and nicely starts speaking with Krishna. My dear Krishna, can you give some of these golden bangles or jewelry to me? No, my mother will scold, I cannot give you. Finally, some conversation happens, and in association of the Lord, he becomes fully purified. And then Krishna says, okay, you take. Then the thief, he says, no, my dear Lord, I don't want any of these things. His heart was completely transformed. This is what we see. Shrimvatam Swakatam Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridi Antastohi Abhadrani Vidhunoti Suhrit Satam. By chanting the holy names of the Lord, by hearing of his activities, pastimes, his law, his name, fame, qualities, a person's heart will be cleansed. Cheto Darpanam Archanam. This is the cleansing effect it has on a person. So this is what? Bhaktya Puman Jata Viraga Aindriyat. By such devotional performances, all kinds of attraction towards sense gratification will be vanquished. Viraga, distaste, no longer interested in sense gratification. And then Drishta Shrutan Mad Rachanam Chintaya. Drishta means what is seen. Here it is specifically referring to what we see in this material world. Shrutan, what is heard of the next world, where our future or where we want to go, where we want to reach. Drishta Shrutan Mad Rachananu Chintaya. See, because Drishta and Shruta, now and next. Because all the Vedic literatures, it speaks about these things. Perform some pious activities in this material world, help the poor, construct some of this thing, plant trees, do some yajna, some karma, some puja, and you'll accrue a lot of punya, so that you will be able to get good benefit in this life, and the next life you will be transferred to some heavenly planets, and there more comforts, more opportunities for happiness will be available there. In fact, this we find in the Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna speaks about this in the 9th chapter. Traividyamam somapa putapapa. Like this verse, there Krishna says, those who study the Vedas and drink the soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. They take birth on the planet of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights. They go to heavenly planets and they enjoy a lot of comforts and sense gratification there. Then, when they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, through the Vedic principles, they achieve only flickering happiness. But this happiness is flickering. Till the time, like whatever the punya is there, they'll be there, nicely enjoying. But kshide punye martyalokam vishanti. Once their accumulation of pious credit is over, again they have to come back to this material world. So this is not, an intelligent person will not be interested in these things. The next verse Krishna says, Ananyashchintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesha mitya viyuktana yogakshemam vahamyaham. Ananyashchintayanto mam. Ananya, undeviatingly, those people who think about me, for them, what do? Tesha mitya viyuktana yogakshemam vahamyaham. I provide what they lack and I protect what they have. See, same thing it is said in this verse also. Drishta shrutan mad rachana anuchintaya. Chintaya, think about Krishna. Ananyash chintaya, undeviatingly think about the Supreme Lord, hear about the Supreme Lord, fix the mind on His, hearing His holy name, His pastimes. So what will happen? Drishta and Shruta, in this world and the next. What will happen? A person enjoys how it is said, bodhayantah paraspatam katayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. He finds a lot of happiness and he enjoys performing these activities. On the other hand, material people, what do? Of course, some pious people perform some pious activities and they want to elevate to some heavenly planets, and that is okay. Modern day people live about pious activities, completely in ignorance, animalistic life, completely beyond sense gratification. That's why all kinds of new technology, gadgets are there, creating more and more facilities for sense gratification, and live about next world. In this world also they are creating some miserable situation, and their future in their next life it will be more miserable. This is the situation what they are creating for themselves. On the other hand, for the devotees, while performing all of these activities of devotional service, the performance is also very blissful. The end result is also blissful, full of happiness. Drishta shruta mad rachanam chintaya. Mad rachana. Rachana means creation, maintenance, dissolution. All these topics we find in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Bhagavatam. So a devotee is continuously thinking about how the Lord creates this material world, how He maintains it, how He dissolves it, how and why he comes again and again to this material world to reclaim fallen conditioned souls like us. He comes here, performs various activities, attracts us and helps us go towards him. And after going to the spiritual world, how is he engaged in various activities along with all other devotees? And in Bhagavatam we find various devotees, how they perform devotional service, what all problems they were facing in their life, how are they able to overcome and lead a happy life and then become eligible to go back to Godhead. These are the subject matters of Prabhupada says in the purport. There are full literatures describing these activities of the Lord, especially 3 scriptures Prabhupada mentions: Bhagavad Gita, Brahma Samhita and Srimad Bhagavatam. This is sufficient to understand about the Lord and completely be engrossed in the thoughts of the Supreme Lord. So this is what Rupa Goswami says, somehow or the other, fix the mind on the Supreme Lord. So much subject matter is there for us. In fact, the same monkey example if we take, I had seen one video, like one person who had coconut, lot of coconut trees, a farm he had. Because coconut means they have to climb the tree and go on top and pluck the coconuts which are ripe. So it is a lot of difficulty, risk is there involved in climbing high coconut trees. But the monkeys, they are very expert in climbing trees. So what he did, he trained one young newly born monkey he took and he started giving training to the monkey. Forcefully, the young baby monkey was taken and he had kept one ball and he was teaching how to make one this way, just to rotate that one ball. He was training that. That young monkey, it was trying to go away, bite his hand and scratch him, but still it was not left. Somehow, continuously was training it. And then what happened, slowly it is growing, and day by day it is learning how to rotate that ball and making it fall. And the monkeys, it's not, it is kept on starvation. If it does that activity, it will be given food. So monkey became expert in going and turning that ball and making it fall. So one fine day, it was told to climb up the tree. So it went on the top of the tree and same way it did with that coconuts and made all the coconuts to fall on the ground. So same monkey, if it is trained, how he was able to make use of it. Otherwise he had to climb all the way on top of the coconut tree. But it was trained somehow. In the beginning, it was very difficult. The monkey will not listen. But somehow, after it was trained, it did the job what was required. Likewise, yena kena prakarena manaha krishne niveshayet. Somehow or the other, fix the mind on Krishna. Things related to Krishna. Krishna's form, Krishna's name, Krishna's activities, his paraphernalia, his service, anything related to Krishna, then this monkey mind can be tamed. It comes under control. Chittasya yatto grahane yoga yukto. See, in fact, this is the objective of all kinds of yoga systems. How to control the mind. How to control the senses. Yatishyate ruchibir yoga margaihi. And this form or this method of yoga practice, how it is, because a lot of yoga practices, yoga methods are there. Among all of them, it is said here, Yatishyate ruchibir yoga margaihi. Richibihi means easy, yes. Rijubihi means very easy. Srila Prabhupada in the end, last sentence he says in the purport, a very suitable word used here is Rijubihi or very easy. There are different processes of yoga marga. attaining perfection. But this devotional service to the Lord is the easiest. Many processes are there, but this is the easiest. We can recollect Srila Prabhupada telling how, what do we do here? Are we, going to some factory, industry, working morning till night in front of machinery, all of these things? No, our process is very simple. Simply chanting, dancing, feasting, philosophizing. We say, come sit and chant Hare Krishna. Chanting, chanting, chanting. A person becomes ecstatic. You can dance also. Dancing, dancing, dancing. You become tired. Nice prasadam is there, you eat. Sit and eat. After sitting, philosophizing, here to some Krishna Katha, philosophy. This is our process. It is very easy. Everyone, therefore, should try to take this process of Krishna consciousness and reach the highest perfection of life by performance of these simple activities. See, it is very sublime. It is simple but sublime. Just like in the previous verse also it is mentioned that Bhavanti Hrit Karna Rasayana Kataha. Hrit Karna Rasayana, very tasty, very attractive. Not just that, Ashu Apavargavartmani. Just by performance of these things, it will help us to become eligible to go back to Godhead, which is the goal of human life. That's what it is said here. Everyone should therefore try to take this process of Krishna consciousness and reach the highest perfection of life, which is going back to Godhead. And with this, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur